thanks for coming today to our focus group. My name's Anna. I'm going to be the coordinator. This is Keaton. He's going to be the moderator. He'll be asking you guys questions. And over there's Connor. He'll be taking notes if that's okay with everyone, just what you say, what your responses are. So we're here representing the fraternity, sorority, and cooperative life at Purdue. And we'll be referring to the organization as FSCL from now on, just because it's shorter and easier. We just want to get your opinions and understand what your thoughts are on the Greek and cooperative life here at Purdue. It'll take about 30 minutes. Are everyone okay with that? Okay. So can everyone go around and introduce themselves and then also say if they are in an organization within FSCL?
I'll start. Joe Corcoran. I am in a fraternity with Sigma Chi fraternity this year.
My name is Sean. I'm in a cooperative house Gemini.
I'm Manfred Wong. I'm a junior, senior, but I'm not in any frat life or Greek.
My name is Cameron Hackney. I'm a senior and I'm not involved.
My name is David. I'm a senior. I'm in PICAPS.
My name is Maggie. I'm a senior and I'm not involved in any group.
My name is Michaela. I'm a senior. I'm not involved.
Awesome, thank you guys so much. And we really want to appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy individuals. So I want to appreciate it. Try to get your opinions about this, learn more about what the student population here at Purdue is overall saying. If you need to leave at any time, the restrooms are out there. Feel free to take a call. If you have any concerns, just let me know. I'll make sure you get your concern handled. So first, what we're going to talk about is the relevance of Greek life and viewpoints of current students such as yourself, okay? So let's start off. What do you believe is the public opinion of Greek and cooperative life at universities as a whole?
Generally, I think it's an organization that you get involved with because people are young and that's where they people go to drink. That's generally what that's what I think people see it as. I'm not sure that they have distinguished themselves in any other way. I know that there are fraternities and sororities that are based around academics and that kind of thing and actually are good for people to be involved in, but I think for the majority of people when they come in their first year, they want to get involved in Greek life, they do so because they want to drink.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's a good place to make friends, especially if you're going to a school that it's Purdue's really, really big, so it's kind of hard to find a place that you fit in if you feel kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that's kind of hitting you when you first come.
I definitely feel like it's a place where, to piggyback off, you can meet people, but I feel like you can see within each community, each house, that there's a wide group of people with a lot of different experiences, and it's a way to kind of round yourself out. And I think in a whole, like Cameron said, that it's not a very popular organization because of the social side, but I think for the most part it's a good structure.
In my case, it was also a great opportunity to meet people. I'm an international student, so my first year I was getting to know what's it about, and then my second year I joined a house as well. My other 3 roommates, and they all joined different houses, and it's a great way to meet people. And I thought, for me it was really good, like the college experience and meeting people, and so it was everything was positive about it. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. What do you think? If you would like to share, please.
I have friends that are in Greek life, so I see where they like to join it to meet other people, but I was just never a big fan of it.
Okay.
I came to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think network is very important in university. So authority and fraternity provide good opportunities for students to join different activities and to social. Yeah, it's good.
And I grew up in Carmel, so I pretty much just grew up around the exact same kind of people my entire life. So it was pretty nice to be able to go to a place that actually had different perspectives on those.
Okay, that's cool. From Noblesville, so I can get that. So, did you Joe, Tryon, David, did you guys have family members that were in fraternities and sorority or fraternities, sororities, cooperative lives, anything like that? Dads, mom, dad.
When I came to campus, I had 2 brothers who were in the fraternity, but outside of that, we were the first people in both my mom and dad's side to be in the Greek organization.
Okay. Do you think your brothers influenced your decision to join it?
I think they helped me see some of the positive sides. I think they pushed me, they didn't push, but the way I saw them and the way I saw their interactions with their fraternity brothers made me want to join a fraternity. I don't know if it was whether I wanted to join. their
Just which one,
fraternity.
yeah. Just overall, and then open up this as a group. Do you think like family and friends, they put the pressure for their like sons, daughters, grandparents, if they're like fraternity, like been in a fraternity, like put the pressure on younger people to join it? What are your guys' viewpoints on that?
Well, in my case, I think my parents weren't well aware of like Greek life, I guess, so they were very against it and everything when I told them I wanted to join. But I think it depends. Well, in my case, I told them, like in a big state school like Purdue that has a lot of houses, it's a great way to meet people, and they eventually understood.
Okay, and then David, you don't mind me asking, why were your parents against you joining a organization such as Greek Life or fraternity?
So my parents are both like from Colombia, and then my mom went to school in Colombia, so Greek life doesn't exist. And then my dad went to a school in Boston, which like in city schools, it's not very strong, I guess.
Okay, yeah, awesome, thank you. And then those sheets I did give out, they are just like the stats about Greek Life here in the fall, last semester, just so you guys know, there's 2 sides to them, members, costs, expenses, all that stuff, which we have more dive deep into. What do you, and kind of go along with this, what do you believe the Purdue faculty's viewpoint of Greek Life is? Instructors, the president, someone like Josie, what do you think their viewpoint is?
I think it's on a case-by-case basis. I think there are people in the organizations that go out and champion for the organizations, and like for IFC, people who are taking initiative, I think are a very positive light. But I think people who read the newspaper on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning probably not the biggest fans of some of the shenanigans and stupid stuff. Fraternity and sorority people, and I guess cooperatives also help society see, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with Joe, saying that like it's just a case-by-case basis, because I feel that if professors or teachers or anything like that were actually involved with Greek life, they probably have a better outlook on it, or maybe not, compared to those that weren't involved at all, because I think generally if those that aren't involved at all, I think it's difficult for those involved to get past seeing the party side of it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that is just that's what everyone tax it up to be. And even if it is a fruitful organization where people can come to meet people and get to know one another, I think a lot of people just tack it up to the party side, and so people might get a negative stereotype because of that.
Thank you, Cameron. Manfred, what do you think about that?
I honestly don't know a lot about Greek life.
Okay.
I can't say a lot about it. But I am aware of like kind of stereotypes that goes on
Yeah.
with Greek life. There's like both good and bad. Like we all covered it earlier. But in terms of what faculty thinks, I do think I don't know this for sure, but I'm certain that they're coming from like a more mature kind of standpoint into kind of what these kids are doing or something like that. But other than that, I'm not really sure.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Now, so kind of shifting academics with Greek life, and their statistics along with their GPAs, houses, or just overall. It's like a 10-page report. We wanted to make it nice and concise for you guys. Do you think Greek life affects students academically? If so, explain your opinion on it, please.
I think it definitely helps. First semester, I lived in the house. I didn't really notice much of anything just because I was mainly taking like aviation or like flight classes, and there's not really many people that do that, especially not in my house. But I decided to go for a management minor this semester, and there's a bunch of people in whatever it's called, Grant, yeah. So with all those classes, I get a lot of help from them, and it's a lot of support and like easy ways to get an A pretty much.
Okay, awesome. So you're basically saying kind of opening new perspectives, like, hey, we're doing this management minor, it's really cool, you're learning this.
Well, it's more like helping out
Oh,
with
yeah,
courses too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd
Yeah.
also agree, there's, like, it's a great way to push yourself, cause if you're with an interesting and a good group of guys, normally they'll push you, cause they're doing something cool with their life.
Mhm.
You're trying to, also try to have something interesting and something that drives you, so normally, iron sharpens iron on that one. But I also think, like you said, it's a good way if you are struggling in classes and you need help. There's normally people who have taken similar classes or that class.
I also heard, sorry, I had a friend who was in a sorority, and she said that, like, in her house, there's like a library of past papers or past notes that people pass along, so like, I guess that, like, that having the prior experience from previous brothers or sisters would definitely help your education.
But I can also see that as a detriment because if those papers are just passed along and if this one actually did well beforehand, then how does it actually like encourage original thought and original like trying to actually get people to actually think for themselves compared to just like passing along the same papers and like they're consistently getting good grades, but like what does it actually do to you actually learning the material and actually trying to produce an original thought?
So going off of that, do you think it's a fair advantage for a fraternity or sorority to have these, or should it not be allowed by the school?
I mean, it's not that it's unfair or fair. I mean, probably slightly less fair, but I mean, the university can't really do anything about it. I mean, they can't try to they can't try to stop that because there's really nothing to actually be done about it. So
I think professors definitely don't condone like passing on past papers, and a lot of them try to eliminate that by like not letting students take away past papers and they even handing them out. So that's obviously like kind of professors or faculty's like viewpoint is that definitely do not want past papers to be exposed.
I think you could almost compare it to, if any of you guys taken, any of the math courses here, it's like you're taking a class with an archive of past questions where they're probably similar to what's gonna be on the future, exams. Whether that's right or not, I think you're never gonna be able to mitigate that process, because if you take about the fraternities and sororities and co-ops, then there's gonna be a group of guys that pass down an apartment building or pass down an apartment to the freshmen or sophomores coming through, and that's where the new binder system or whatever cataloging system
Awesome.
comes through.
Going off of that, even if you take out that whole process completely, there's still gonna be things like Course Hero or Chegg that's still gonna have all these resources that you could take advantage of.
I'm gonna go with what was said at the beginning, with having like people that push you, and then in many houses there's many people, and then obviously when you're young, you have upperclassmen which are different majors and everything, and you can ask them questions. They can be like your mentors, so I think it's really good. And yeah, what was said about Chegg and Course Hero, it's always there, and you can always use it to help you out.
Great, sweet. Thank you, those are some really, really good answers. This really helped us out a bunch. Now I'm gonna try to shift. I know we kind of been just didn't nail ahead, but we're gonna hit it head on now. So let's talk about the stereotypes related to Greek proper life, such as the hazing culture, the drinking culture that many common Americans kind of believe that come with along with these organizations. So it's gonna be, so first question is, what stereotypes have you heard about Greek cooperative life?
I mean, I've already said one of them. It's mostly just drinking. That they do haze people when they come in, and that it's just kind of it's a way for people who are under 21 to actually drink underage.
And coming from like a outsider's point of view, forgive my ignorance for like being in that Greek life, but like there is a stereotype of just doing dumb stuff or something like that.
Bro culture.
Bro,
Yeah, my dad wasn't too happy with me joining cooperative just because we went to school at IU in like the 80s and stuff. And there's like a clear divide between like people in Greek life and people not in Greek life, and just all the rumors and stereotypes that would go on along there about hazing or just doing dumb things were just really, really negative at the time. So
that was a good point. kind of want to get your guys' opinion on this, the divide between if you're Greek life or not Greek life. Do you guys see that on Purdue's campus? If so, elaborate, please.
I would say at a very surface level, yes.
Mhm.
But I feel like as soon as people take the time to have conversations, in my major, construction management, it's, I'd say it's heavier on the Greek side, but we're a pretty social bunch, and we talk to pretty much everyone in our major, and it pretty much breaks down all those walls of, oh, you're in that frat, and you're an elitist or a farmer, or whatever the
Yeah.
stereotype is, kind of breaks down. So I would say, again, it's like, very much how each person deals with that.
Okay, awesome.
I think it depends on the fraternity. I think certain fraternities will definitely attract a certain type of person to it. And I won't name any, but I think that certain ones will attract more intelligent people, certain ones will attract bros, and then others that will that are kind of a mix of everyone, and there's no stereotype that necessarily takes the precedent.
What do you think about that?
I really don't. I mean, because I'm not really involved. I mean, I would see my friends who like, because I'm an HCM major, so like we're very social people anyway. So like them being involved in sororities or fraternities is kind of common. So, but no, I really don't see much anything.
Okay. And then going back to stereotypes, you don't need to give me details or anything like that, but what stereotypes have you observed about Greek life, cooperative life here at Purdue, or a little more prevalent along those?
I guess when I got here my freshman year, maybe you base your stereotypes about like movies,
Yeah,
like Greek life being like just drinking and party animals and
like Animal House.
yeah, pretty much. But then once you join, it's much more than that. There's like community service. There's I don't know, a bunch of activities. There's sports events. So yeah, it's much more than what it appears to be.
I would say each fraternity has their stereotype, but you pretty much the one that covers it all is wealthy kids that daddy and mommy are paying them to go to school.
Yeah.
And they don't take their education very seriously, they don't try very hard, they're only here for 5 years-ish, taking a victory lap. That's kind of the stereotype of most.
Awesome. An overall opinion, do you guys think, kind of go off that as well, do you guys think Greek life is diverse of many kids from different states, countries, ethnicities?
No. I wouldn't say that they're the best at trying to attract a diverse population. I think it's mostly people either from Indiana, from the Midwest in general, and generally they are white. I don't think there's a whole lot of diversity. I know there are initiatives with Greek life to actually diversify, but I'm not sure how successful those are. Obviously, I'm not engaged with Greek life, so I don't actually know. But I can't see them as being very successful.
David, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's much diversity either.
Okay.
I guess it's something that just happens here in the U.S. So if we're talking about international students, maybe they're not scared, but it's something they're not used to. Maybe they don't know how it works. So yeah, I guess there's not many international students.
Yeah, speaking on diversity, I can't really speak for like Greek houses or sororities or anything, but out of the male cooperatives, Gemini is the most diverse, and that's because we have one person from India, one person from China, and one person from Mexico. So diversity is not really a big thing.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, like a lot of my friends go to a sorority or fraternity, maybe like just 1 or 2 of like 40 or 50, like this 2% of international students go to join this kind of group. And I heard of that some sorority and fraternity like avoid the diversity, like they only allow the local people to join it. So maybe it's kind of lack of diversity, but it's also like encourage international students to join like
of stuff about stereotypes. Kind of wanted to switch to another subject we had. So commitment to Greek life and cooperative life. So what commitment have you guys, people that are in these organizations or observe students, like, can you tell me more about the commitment you have to do each week, each month, each year, each semester?
I guess I'll start it off. For the chapter, you have to attend an all chapter meeting, which happens once a week. You have to do, I think it's 10 hours of community service a semester. Most people do more. Within the house, there's, as a freshman and sophomore, you're mandatory a certain number of hours in a study session. Normally it's off campus or on campus out of our house. That way we eliminate distractions. As you get older in the fraternity, obviously there's leadership positions you can take. It's pretty much what you want to get out of the leadership positions. Then I think 3 weeks ago you turned Eta Beta, which means you've fulfilled your chapter obligations and you're ready to, you're no longer an active brother, you're a alumni of sort, I guess, without graduating yet, obviously.
We don't really have as many commitments. We have like our house meetings and a couple of philanthropy hours that we have to do each week if you're on like probation or something, like academic probation, you have to do study tables or stuff like that, but it's not really.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for here. And then going along with like the expenses, so obviously you have to pay a certain amount of fee per semester per year to go in those organizations, especially if you live in. What is your opinion on the expenses of Greek life with students and overall any parents or co-signers at all? And as a group, I just kind of curious to see what you guys think about that.
Well, I chose cooperative life because it was like super cheap.
Mhm.
Like my rent's only $450 a month, and that includes food and like everything pretty much. And I mainly chose that because my major was like so expensive, and I kind of felt bad making my
Mhm.
parents pay for all my stuff. So
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to help them out a little bit. Yeah.
And other opinions about the expenses of group life?
I think it depends on, I know sororities range a little bit more than fraternities, but I know some sororities you can get it to the $12,000 to $15,000. And I'd say fraternities are more proactive in how you spend your money. I would definitely say there's ways to work it out, but it's still a cost, and you have to kind of budget that in for yourself, I guess.
So going back to your involvement within the fraternity or sorority, how does it affect your involvement on campus? Like, do you see yourself being more involved or less involved with other campus activities?
I guess, I don't know, I used to be more involved when I was like a sophomore and junior, being a lot in intramurals and everything. Maybe this year I haven't been to the house at all. I never lived in, so maybe that's the reason why. But overall, yeah, you get very involved because there's always something going on, sports events, so people like encourage you to go. There's community service, so yeah, I guess.
Okay, awesome. So one more thing about this, people that are currently not in Greek life, what are you guys' opinions about the expenses related to Greek life?
I have no idea.
You have no idea, okay.
It's like $10,000 for, it's on the next sheet over to you.
Yeah, it's on the first sheet, the second sheet. But it's around $10,000 for.
I mean, I would say it seems like an unnecessary expense when we're already paying tuition and that kind of thing. And I guess like for some people that are like staying out of house or staying in house, and then like that's the majority of their expense, and then they also they also get food, that kind of thing. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
But for some people that like they're out of house and they literally just like come around every now and then. I don't know. I would just question like how much they're actually getting out of Greek life and actually out of that to actually pay their dues, that kind of thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some friends that were like, I was on the bowling team for 3 years, so like I had friends that would like quit the team because they wanted to rush to because of cost. So that was just a few things that I saw.
Okay, awesome. Now we're gonna like quickly the benefits of Greek life and cooperative life. What do you guys think the benefits are for organizations like these within the members and then with the community, example Lafayette, West Lafayette?
is that for the people in it, or is that?
Both, it could be both.
I guess for the advantages, so in our fraternity, we stress heavily on developing you as a person, both academically and your professional life, and it's kind of a way that you can, by the way we rush and by the way we kind of bring people in, we kind of not shoehorn, but like we try to like lead them to, hey, these are leadership positions that you can take to market yourself later. These are the things you can do on campus. This guy did this 1 year. You should go try to do the same thing because it's a good way to build your resume, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore in engineering. When it's harder to get internships and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think Anna had a question for everybody.
Yeah, so a big thing about fraternity and sorority life and cooperative life is like community service. For those that aren't in houses, do you see yourself doing community service on your free time? Because like I know it's a requirement for a lot of the houses, so if it's not a requirement, do you still do it around campus or other places?
I think it's definitely an initiative for us to do community service as a non-Greek kind of person. But because right now I don't think I'm doing a lot. I'm involved in a couple like clubs here and there, which does some things here and there, but not really like time commitments in terms of like community services and stuff. It's more about like kind of helping out like within the I'm in like aviation ambassador, so it's kind of helping out the aviation kind of school itself, but not much in terms of the Lafayette area like that.
As a hospitality major, we do a lot of like community service because that's what we're going to do is like we're providing a service for people. So like the fact that we're just volunteering and doing it for free, it doesn't bother us. So we do a lot of.
That's awesome.
So this question we had is all about people that weren't involved. So throughout this interview, we've been writing down your pros and cons of FCL. So I want to make sure we got everything before we kind of close this out and wrap this up. So the pros, we have good places to make friends, opens opportunities, allows people to grow, helps academically, you have people in the classes. Stresses leadership, it can also help you with like networking, building resumes, stuff like that, especially if you're like an executive member, like president or something along those lines. And then the cons, what we have is the negative stereotypes such as drinking, hazing, like what Cameron said one con was, you kind of get reluctant or used to the notes, which can hurt you as a student and overall something with our process of learning. Some people say I tend to do some crazy stuff, potentially on the line of dangerous. Underage drinking, lacking diversity, another con we saw, and then some people might say it's maybe a little too expensive. Did we overall miss anything with the pros and cons that we need to write down to our reporters and our supervisors? Nothing. Oh. Any other final questions, remarks before we kind of wrap this up at all? Sweet. Well, I just want to thank you guys so much for your time. You guys didn't have to be here. We greatly appreciate it. Your feedback's going to be greatly valued throughout our supervisors, through Purdue University. Overall, try to see what we can do better, keep the same, whatever. And I really want to appreciate it again. And thank you so much and have a great day.